Soul Food Sundays. This week I want us to get focused again. What are you focused on? What has your focus currently? I was having a conversation with one of my mentors, and it's been so long that we were able to sit down and have a meal together that when we were having a conversation over this meal, the conversation took so many different directions. We spoke about coronavirus. We talked about the current state of the economy. We talked about unemployment and how people are being affected by all of this. We were talking about the riots, the hidden agenda behind them. We were talking about politics. We were talking about Trump and Biden. And one thing that he said that gravitated, that really captured me is he said that winners always find a way to win no matter what. Focus on the controllables. And I've heard it said before that focus on what you can control, but when you say the controllables, it almost seems like they're just small pieces to the puzzle that we have to play. But as he said this, I thought about this one story, a story of a guy named Martin. Martin Pistorius was 12 years old when he was diagnosed with a neurological brain disorder. From 12 years old, his mind would quickly degenerate into that of a 3-month-old baby. He lost all of his motor skills. He wasn't able to communicate anymore. He couldn't speak. He couldn't move his arms. He couldn't move his legs. He became what we call, he was in a virtual coma. The doctors had given his parents a prognosis that he was going to be like this for the rest of his life. Things looked pretty bleak for him. It created such a huge strain on his parents, on their marriage, on that of being a father and a husband throughout the same process, that of being a mother and a wife throughout the same process. It was so overbearing for them. He couldn't move, he couldn't communicate, he couldn't let them know what he wanted, he couldn't let them know how he was feeling. And it was like this for 4 years. 4 years until his mind came back. But no one knew. No one knew because his mind came back and now he remembered everything that he was missing before. He was now capable and able to learn. He was able to understand everything what was going on around and beside and in front of him. But he never regained his motor skills. He wasn't able to move his arms or legs still. He wasn't able to communicate. He wasn't able to speak. I'm going to give you a quick clue towards the end of the story when he said the hardest part for him was having all of this love inside of him and not being able to tell anyone how he felt, not being able to share it with anyone. It is because of this and this focus on him wanting to shed and spread his love with someone or on someone. It is because of this is the reason why he didn't give up when his own mother said, "This is overbearing." It was 10 years later that she was going through this, and she even said, "I wish he would die." But his focus wasn't on that. He felt trapped inside of himself forever, but he wanted to come out. He wanted something to be able to pass along his message. And in time, after 10 years of regaining his mental consciousness, a nurse saw something in his eye. And as she saw this something in his eye, she said she felt like he was trying to communicate with her. Something told her to try, and maybe those muscle twitches was him trying to communicate. So she got more doctors involved and started to do more research and give him more therapy until he was able to get just enough motor skills in one arm to be able to give just a little bit of pressure. And they tested him. They asked him a question, and when his answer popped across the screen, he only had to give that little bit of pressure, and he answered the question. Once was enough. Twice was surety, and the third time was the charm. They said, he is understanding. He is all there, and they worked on him even more, to the point where he was able to gain motor skills in both his arms to type on a computer, and the computer would relay his message to the world. Now he graces the world with his presence all across all of these stages, typing his message, and the computer speaks for him, telling his story, because he changed his focus not on where he was and what he was going through, but where he wanted to be. Someone saw just a little bit of light in his eye that took him from where he was to the point that he can now spread that love with someone. Well, he did find love. He did get married. But my question to you is, what are you focused on? What are you going to do for you? What are you going to do different? You talked about these dreams and these ideas, but what are you going to do to bring them into fruition? Those dreams that you had and the reasons why you said that you wanted them, what are you going to do different? What are you going to do to make it easier for you? What are you going to do to make it better for you? What are you going to do to make you better? It takes commitment. It takes focus. Are you going to focus on what is behind of you, or are you going to focus on what is ahead? Are you going to focus on what is missing, or are you going to focus on what is in store for you? Change your focus. Focus on your target. Execute your mission. Leave your legacy and make your mark. That's it. Guys, thank you so much for tuning in to another episode of Soul Food Sundays. I really appreciate all of you who show your love and support. We're trying to make sure that this message resonates with nations. We're trying to make sure that we spread this out to the masses, and we're really out there inspiring and impacting and changing people's lives. That's what this really is about. So we ask for your help in the process. Subscribe, like our channels, YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, Inspired by Austin. Inspired by Austin. Share it out on all the channels. Share it with your friends, with your loved one. We are so happy to be on this journey with you, and we look forward to seeing you at the next one. Take care.